tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome back. Are you returned? You have returned for the AFTERBUZZ TV Resurrection After Show.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Zach Wilson. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're talking about the episode Old Scars, Resurrection. Oof. What an episode. What an ending. But we're going to get into that. We got an exciting show, guys. Exciting show. But first, let me introduce my my co-hosts this evening. We got G. Madison.
Ladies first, you know. How you guys doing?
And Melina Alves.
Hello.
Chelsea Breach is out tonight, unfortunately.
Yes! No,
Whoa.
I'm kidding. I miss her. I need the girl power.
The truth comes out. The
yeah,
truth comes out.
no. Miss you,
Look,
Chels.
we got enough backdoor cat fighting
We don't
in
need
this
any more.
episode. No more on this show. Chelsea just couldn't make it tonight. We had to do an early show because it's very exciting. In just a few minutes, we're going to be having Pastor Tom, Mark Hildreth, on the show, calling into the show yet again this season. He's fantastic on the show. He's a
Minister
fantastic
Tom.
guy. I'm excited to talk to him again. But until we got him, let's talk about this episode. First reactions. What did you guys think?
Go.
Go! Me? Oh, I loved it. Out of all the episodes so far, this one was actually kind of one of my favorites. I feel like nothing happening yet. A lot of things happened today. It was kind of like Margaret's, like we got to see the pot that she's brewing and the little ingredients that she's adding to it and how much of how she's kind of controlling this little city right now. And it got me really excited.
We're finally getting what I was expecting to get when they announced that Kat Stark was going to
Really?
be
This is
on
what you-
this
it's
show.
what you wanted, huh?
Well, because that conniving, that dark, but controlling the situation from all angles. She is a powerful woman. She's a powerful actress, and so I'm excited. I was excited to see what she would do with this, much more. It's still fantasy elements to the show, but much more grounded than Game of Thrones.
She's making everything so creepy to me, man. Even the child's laughter in the other room. A child's laughter, isn't it so sweet? It's like, it was until you said that.
She's, I'm excited. Especially now that we kind of saw a little bit into her backstory to kind of learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, we open up on this guy being chased through the forest with a bum knee. He's got the brace on, and we're like, Ron Fars. I wanted that brace to break away so bad.
It did. It was
slow
not
motion.
that type of movie.
But no, it took a much darker path because he gets lynched. This guy, they're chasing him through the woods, and they just
I've never heard that term before. I'm sorry.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
lynched. Oh yeah, it's a very. I mean, it's they chase him down, they catch him, they just and hang him right there.
Boom.
But we find out later that that's not the only time. As soon as he's getting strung up,
Right.
I didn't connect the knee thing at the moment. I was too into the scene because that was a great opening.
Right.
But it was. I instantly knew oh, this has got to be one of our bodies.
Did
Right.
you know, because in the scene, it shows the little demented girl standing there. Did you know that was Margaret?
I didn't think so. I did not. That part caught me by surprise. But of course, it makes perfect sense as soon as we get the reveal.
Yeah.
And as they tell the story and tell the last story, I think we're going to still see more stories of the bodies that are in there. So I think even the person in the last good night story she told, I think even that story is going to have some reckoning of these. Oh, is someone calling in?
Yeah, guys, I'm really excited. We've got on
cut
the line,
me off too. Let's just
Mark,
go.
Mark, are you there with us?
I'm here with you.
Oh my God, Pastor Tom!
He's
I
got
love
enough.
You.
He's got
This is
enough women
Melina.
after him. Just let's fall
my
back.
goodness, so excited. Okay, carry on.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh man, we're excited. We just saw the last episode. We're really excited about it.
Nice.
Really excited. Thank you for coming back on the show for another season. How has it been coming back for season 2?
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be with you. Season 2 has been a roller coaster. We were talking about last time about season 1. It's kind of like, for everybody watching the show, it's a lot like that for us reading the scripts. Every week you go week to week and you get a new script and you're like, oh my God, that's happening.
Yeah.
You can't even believe what you're reading. And there was some great moments tonight.
Yeah,
it's going great out here.
Yeah, I know we were not surprised when we heard that you guys got picked up, so we were really excited for season 2. And Tom's going through. It's very interesting because it just kept going, as opposed to a lot of shows where there's a big time jump between seasons. Has that changed your approach to Pastor Tom at all, since it's just been one complete linear transition, or has you really changed how you approach the character?
I think one of the coolest things about TV these days is you can do that. You can have these serialized shows that have all these different storylines, all going at once, and you can carry it on, and you can. It's almost like it's like a dream job, because it's almost like if the average movie is 2 hours long, we get to make 8 movies. In a season, and it just goes from one plot line to another. It's been interesting, because carrying the through line of Tom's story, through from season 1, it did change. It changed to some degree in the I guess in the hiatus, so to speak, in the week that happened between season 1 and season 2, when Bellamy was sort of abducted by the government, and then woke up again, and we said that was about a week since in actual time of how that happened. So
right.
In that week, some things definitely changed. Tom and Rachel and Janine, I guess, had to settle into some kind of sense of normalcy.
Right.
As much as you can.
Yeah. A modern family, you might say. It is ABC.
Very modern. Yeah. So there's Modern Family, which has some modern stuff, and we're even more modern than Modern Family. Not only do we have all the modern stuff, we have dead people as well.
Yeah. Are you enjoying the speed change of this season? I know as an actor,
it's faster. It's definitely a lot faster.
Do you like that? Do you like it?
It's interesting. It's every story has its own pace, and in this case, every season has its own pace. And I personally loved the pace of the first season. I really liked how we really got to take our time, with things, and really let things settle in. And I think that's one of the reasons why Resurrection caught on so well.
For sure.
I feel like it was in rapport with the audience, discovering these things and really letting these things sink in, rather than it just being like, dead people are coming back to life. Okay, we're over it. Let's move on to the next dramatic thing. It was really like the characters really had time to think about, what does this mean? How does this affect me? What does this do to the nature of my beliefs and my whole sense of myself and my sense of life? But season 2 really needed to pick up the pace, and I think we have. It needed to go from what does this mean to what do we do about it?
How do we deal with this? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that's changed the rhythm for everybody, and it's interesting because some characters, I think, deal with that, or that fits with some characters better than others, and honestly, I think for Tom, for that character, it's a more difficult shift. It's a more difficult transition. He's not as he needs to become more like action oriented, and for a guy who is dealing with so many philosophically and moralistically trying to deal with all this stuff, because of his role in the community and all that. I think it's harder for him to just move on to okay, well, I'm just going to do something about this now.
He has more to think about than just Yeah,
and that's his place in society. That's what he represents, as a character, is the guy who really really sits and really contemplates, you know, how do I do the right thing here?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he's really stuck in a way.
yeah, I mean, he's definitely, I think, of all the characters, the one who's had his story shaken his whole world has been shaken, not just his home life, but also his job, because everything about, like, his wife, which is the core of his family, is just his wife since he has no kids. It's wildly shaken. Did you approach it, I guess, any differently in terms of how he's going to react with this new church, or like how did in terms of like working with the writers, did you work with them at all in as you built out his reaction in this season?
I wouldn't say as much as in the first season, but it, you know, as you get the scripts, you need to be able to adapt to this stuff. You know, as an actor, you need to be able to take what you're given and really bring it, like, make it live, you know. So, you know, this is a very difficult transition for this character to make, because you're right, he's made everything about family and community and you know, and being a leader and being someone that people can go to for answers. And he doesn't have any answers. In fact, the answers that he thought he had, he doesn't even have those anymore.
Yeah.
You know, he thought he had a sense of people. He thought he had a sense of, you know, of how to counsel people, how to figure out, you know, what's the right thing to do in a given situation. And so he's still very reactive. I mean, it's great because he's in such a conundrum. Because he's not only has he got his fiance, his ex-fiance, you know, sort of, you know, still there with them, you know, but now, like, how do you make a family life work when you have, you know, it's heartbreaking. I think the way that the writers have set it up is really beautiful, because, you know, the device that we set up in the first season, where Tom and Janine, you know, had been trying to have a baby. And now he has his fiance who's pregnant.
Ouch.
You know, it really gets you right in the heart.
Yeah.
So it disrupts the whole foundation of his life, of his marriage, of his, you know, his pastorship and his place in the community. And in a sense, you know, I sort of feel like Tom's like a little bit of a fish out of water right now. You know, I don't think he knows what his place is. His whole, you know, everything that he had to grasp onto was pretty much taken away from him, and so he, you know, he gave up on his he didn't agree with what was being done in his parish.
Right.
You know, he didn't agree with and that's the one thing I feel like that he's really still got.
That's great. Yeah.
He believes that a person's a person. You know, and it doesn't matter if they're returned or not. And the way that I related to that was, you know, sort of maybe like not so long ago, you know, or even today, there's still churches that, you know, will accept certain members and other members they reject.
Right.
And that, as a metaphor for that, I really love that. And that's something that Tom is really standing for and is going to continue to stand for. And he's going to have to, like, you guys are going to see, he's going to have to take some pretty serious lumps.
Yay!
For his belief.
So
That's
just is
exciting.
Tom going to be faced with some pretty dangerous circumstances moving forward? I mean, with tonight's demon drop, at least you're just calling them demons that outright. Is that going to come around to Tom?
Man, I got to say, you know, Michelle Fairley, when I read that, I was like, that's a great speech. I mean, even before the speech, I love the line when she says, she want a bedtime story, and he's like, can you tell me a scary one? She's like, that's the only kind I know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
That was a great
That was
voice. That was a
perfect,
great, great reenactment too. He got it down.
And she's so, you know, she's just so great. But when we did the read through for the script for that episode, and you know, just as soon as it came out of her mouth, you know, you're just like, this is gonna be something else, man. But you know, yeah, there will be. There's gonna be some. you know, without going into specifics, because you know, ABC would kill me.
You would just return. It's okay. You'd return.
I'm joking. But,
You would just return.
well, that's the thing. No, but
Just tell us
without
you'll
going
return.
into, too many specifics, they're going to have to. There's going to be, you know, some serious stuff that's going to come down the pipeline, and you know, and there's these. You know, it's not like all these people are here, you know, just to make life better for everybody. They're there for some weird reason that we still don't know. But as you know, Margaret Langston has been dropping hints about, they're not exactly all well-intentioned.
You know what's interesting that I just thought of right now is, because we're talking about Margaret Langston, is the fact that she is kind of like an octopus, right? She's kind of controlling all these different situations. Yet her and Pastor Tom don't really have...
Cross paths.
No, which is kind of bizarre.
Not yet, anyway.
Oh, okay. Maybe, because, that's really interesting. Mark, this is Melina. I am a huge fan, by the way. Watching Resurrection from season 1 to now, which I think is your character in this show, what I think is so neat about your character is the fact that you're kind of like the loose cannon of everybody. Like, we know, you know, Jacob's parents, like, we know what their struggles are. Like, that makes sense. And nothing really changes from, like, episode to episode. But with Tom's character, it was constantly changing in season 1 and now season 2. Like, I still don't know is, like, who's going to live, who's not going to live. Are they going to carry the baby, everybody together? Are they going to raise it as, you know, 2 moms and a dad? So as you're reading your script from week to week, and you said you get the script and you're kind of like with us on that, like, oh, wow, things are changing. Are you just having fun with the fact that your character is growing so much in this show, or are you having to stretch pretty far to kind of meet Tom where he needs you to meet him?
Well, I mean, I guess it's a stretch in a way, always, because it's the circumstances, excuse me, are so bizarre, you know.
Oh, this stuff doesn't happen every day.
You know, there's always there's every week you're reading the script and you're trying to find ways to relate with it, you know, that make it real for you. You know, you don't want to play it so that it's, you know, just some mysterious, thing that's happening, and you just sort of accept it for what it is. I'm trying to find what in my life I can relate to, or what I can bring up with my imagination that will, you know, make these circumstances real for me, so that I can go and play those moments honestly.
Yeah.
And it's definitely challenging, because I don't have a point of reference, you know, for having a wife and a fiance who's dead with a baby. You know, that's a lot to pack in.
Yeah.
But I will say, you know, the actors are so good. They're so skilled. They're so talented. And Lori Beth Sykes and Kathleen Monroe, who play Janine and Rachel, they're very present, and so as actors and as people. So you know, I find that once we get in there and we get on set and we start shooting those scenes, really you just play it as it lands.
Yeah.
And the actors are so good, and the writing supports it, that you can just kind of get in there and just be honest, and it seems to work really well.
I want to break the third wall even more than what AfterBuzz is doing right now with you. Who's the funniest? Who's the one person on set that just cracks you up? You just, oh man! I mean, in these dark, serious scenes, which one you just have to crack up a little bit, and you have to retake. Back to one. Who is it?
It's Kurtwood. It's Kurtwood.
Of course.
I mean, obviously it's Kurtwood. I mean, you know, the guy did 200 episodes of that 70s show. You know, like you think he has some comedy chops up his sleeve. He doesn't get to do a lot. I mean, Resurrection is not exactly, you know, a show with a lot of comedy in it. You know,
slapstick comedy.
No.
Oh man, but he's, you know, Kurtwood is. It's such a great role for him. You know, because he's so good. He has such a depth. I feel like he, you know, he really finds this stuff, and I really love the scenes where, you know, there's a scene in this episode where where Lucille and Jacob are in the dining room, kind of setting the table or whatever, and they're kind of laughing, and then they get into an argument or whatever, and they cover Kurtwood, just sitting in the kitchen reading the paper or whatever by himself, and that's where you can really see, in many ways, an actor's real strengths, because it's when they're not talking, it's when they're just listening, and how active are they, how present are they, when it's just being, when they're just passively listening, and some of that stuff breaks my heart the most, man, because Kurtwood he's so filled in his performance emotionally. Great. He's got so much going on, like under the surface all the time, and it's so great. But he's the best comedian of all of us. Yeah, so it's so funny to see a guy like that who's got such a keen sense of timing and such a great sense of humor, get to play these very subtle, dramatic, emotional moments, and he's so good. It reminds me of like Robin Williams a little bit, who could really have you like falling on the ground laughing and then turn it on you in a moment and
pull a tear out.
So heartfelt, play there. But we were laughing actually today or the other day about. There was apparently, I wasn't actually in this scene, so I wasn't there to see this, but apparently there was a moment where at the end of that big dinner scene, where it ended up that Kurtwood's character and April Billingsley's character were both just sort of left in the room together at the end of the scene, and that's Sheriff Fred's wife, Maggie's mother, and so they just sort of were like, so everybody's going to have disappeared. Maggie and Fred have I don't know, somehow gotten out of the room, and so they just said just stand there and just kind of say something like you're going to make conversation or whatever. And they did a bunch of takes, and Kurtwood comes out with like the most amazing
give us one.
Apparently one of them he said was everybody leaves the room and it's just the two of them standing there and Kurtwood says so I was looking through some old newspaper clippings about that all-female performance of Macbeth that you did wearing only bikinis.
And of course, we're not using that
and
one.
April's like, oh yeah, and he was like, yeah, I didn't know you were so accomplished in the long jump in your youth, or whatever. It's just like these absurd things,
That's a good.
And the whole crew is like just falling about laughing because he's so funny.
I can't wait to see the resurrection blooper reel. Oh man,
that'll be good.
This year it'll be a good one. Last year it was a little bit dull, I gotta say. We didn't have a lot of bloopers last year, but I think this year we'll have a few good laughs.
Getting used to the dead people all around.
Yeah, well, you get an extra 5 weeks worth of episodes.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. So Mark, I'm curious because we talked last time about because you're also a musician and you do a lot of music and performance and songs. I'm curious, do you have any plans, or does the show have any plans to sort of incorporate that into the show, into the character?
Not at the moment. I would love to, man. I'm always looking for. I would love to play. I don't know. Like I'd love to do. I love the music biopics. Like what Jamie Foxx did with Ray Charles and things like that. I'd love to do a project like that would bring.
Are there any musicians that you'd particularly love to portray?
David Bowie.
Ooh,
come on. David Bowie.
I can see that.
Oh, it'd be so awesome.
I can't picture you with makeup on.
I can see it.
Well, yeah, but maybe not that kind of makeup.
Transformation. Maybe you'll be able to play one of your instruments for your unborn child on the show for Tom's.
That would be
maybe
so
you'll play.
precious.
That'd be nice. That'd be a nice moment.
Nice.
It would be.
We'll actually get to hear your singing voice.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Well, if people do want to hear your singing voice, can you tell them, our listeners, where they can go to check it out?
Tell us.
Yeah. I've made I have a few different music projects on the go, but I've recorded 2 albums, and They're both available on iTunes.
Wow,
So
man.
you can look up Mark Hildreth on iTunes, or you can go to you can download them through markhildreth.com.
Cool.
Wow,
That's
can't wait,
fantastic.
man.
I know.
Cool.
Well, I'm a dancer and choreographer. I'd love to do some dance to some of your music.
Oh yeah. Go check it out. It's got a beat. You can dance to it.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to
There
you.
you go.
Nice.
So, Mark, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to say to the fans about the show going forward that you're really excited about, that you really want people to get ready for?
I'm just going to tell you,
Yes.
there's something that's going to happen right in the middle of the season, and I won't tell you what, but it's really just going to blow everybody away. It's going to turn the whole show on its head.
Oh, man.
And it's so unexpected, like
Oh,
you'd never guess. You'd never guess.
Are
Even
you
if I gave you a
serious?
hint, you wouldn't guess.
Well, now I'm going to spend the next few weeks
big event.
guessing.
The returned aren't really returned, and then that's what
All right.
happens. We're gonna
We'll get
flip
into
the
predictions
switch.
later.
I got chills, Mark. That was a good one.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming on. If people want to follow you, let's say on Twitter or social media, where can they keep up with you?
Yeah, on Twitter, I'm on Twitter as Hildreth Mark, and there's like a couple of there's one official fan page on Facebook that you can look up just under my name.
Okay.
But it's Twitter/Hildreth Mark.
Great. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark. You have a good night.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on season 2, man.
Thanks,
You're killing
guys.
it.
My pleasure. We'll talk
Great.
to you next season.
Great. Thank you.
Take care, buddy. That
All
was
right.
cool.
Yeah. Always
I
great to
forgot
have
to-
Mark on the show.
I forgot to quiz him on his Bible knowledge.
Mm.
I was planning on that all week, and I totally spaced.
Well, I mean, he's not a pastor. He just plays one on TV.
I know.
But let's talk about, since we're on this subject, let's talk about Pastor Tom and Rachel and Janine.
Yeah.
And this whole crazy love triangle that we got going on here.
Just crazy.
It's Janine has made peace with it at this point. How
think.
do you guys feel? Do you think? I think it's genuine. I think Janine legitimately has made peace with this fact, like, because as long as because she honestly believes that Tom is on her side. I don't know. How do you guys feel?
I think you're right. I think
No.
it's genuine. I think something will change later on, but I do think that she's genuinely choosing into the event, if you would, to this whole craziness. I don't think she has the only other option is to totally distance herself from the love of her life and say goodbye to the whole thing over something that he didn't do wrong. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but Melina's not
True.
buying it.
You know, here's the thing, and I just kind of look at it from like a woman's perspective, right? Because I am a woman.
We can
Sexist.
tell.
Hey, okay. So here's my thought: is if I was in this situation, it not so much that her angle isn't genuine in the fact that she loves her husband. I think it's more. I think she finally did what a woman would do. It's either I'm gonna win this game or I'm gonna lose this game, and it's more of like a competition thing. Like, you're not gonna weasel me out, so I'm gonna put myself back in the equation. Even though she's a very sweet, loving person, she is. I don't think that. I think as the episodes go, we're gonna see it develop more into a genuine.
You think it's still territorial?
I think
Still?
it's very territorial. That's what I was trying to say. I do, and I think we saw that with last week's episode more when she came home and then just looking in the room, and I think that was when it kind of clicked. Like, it's either this woman is gonna come in and take your man, or I'm gonna come home and do what I need to do to secure my household. That's what I think it is. But I think it will turn into a very genuine relationship, as we saw in today's
It's not
episode.
there yet.
Not yet. I think the more she suffers with her pregnancy, the more we'll get to see Janine like come out and be the loving, wonderful woman that we'll get into predictions of what I think will happen next.
All right. Okay. Well, so as they go through this, we get the big drop that the baby is growing twice as fast. Maggie's looking at the screen like, are you sure that this is right? Like, this can't be. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
She's getting, like, she has contractions. She's like, what, like 4 months pregnant at this
Yeah,
point?
16 weeks.
Well, it's an alien baby. What do you expect?
True.
What do you
It's a
expect?
dead alive. It's yeah.
Just like popping out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you expect? It has to grow a tail and 6 legs. It's got to grow faster than
Yeah.
I mean, there's legitimate questions to that theory. Like, is it? We know that originally Mark would have been the father, but the fact that she's a returned, is this because we don't know if these people are human or what they are? Is it actually Mark's baby? Is it a baby at all?
Right. I think it's a baby. I would get a DNA test. Like, get on Maury, figure
He
out.
didn't even get a DNA test.
No.
If they can fake the DNA of these humans, though,
True.
they could fake the
Okay,
DNA
you're right.
of the baby. The question is it's just plays into the larger question
Right.
of what these people are. Why are they back? Where are they from? What's the end game here?
Right.
And only one
and
person
that's-
seems to know.
Yeah, and that's a whole other question. But let's
Yeah.
finish talking about
Yeah.
Rachel and Janine. And then Janine is very much just like, it's the most, I love her drop, it's the most natural thing in the world. And Rachel's like, well, not with me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
She leaves it at, I'm going to help you through every step
Yes.
of this. And they're going to continue to live in, Janine's like, totally cool. It's totally cool. You're going to stay in the house. We're going to
Have a
take care of
bonding
you.
moment.
Yep.
You guys were talking
Kumbaya,
about how
yeah.
like now Tom's gets to have his cake and eat it
Bow,
too.
chicka, bow, wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
he called it his cake and his pie.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
he gets to have his cake and his pie together in one bite.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, is he a Christian pastor?
I don't know. They
I
don't
know.
really.
Yeah, no, he's
I mean,
very, very
how many
Christian.
wives can he have? I mean, that's
I don't think he's a I don't
Okay,
think he's
just
Mormon,
wondering.
but he's in his,
Not sure.
he's forming a church of his own now, man.
Yeah.
And,
See, non-denominational. You can do whatever you want.
and when
Not
you,
what it means.
I mean, he can do what he pleases, man. No
Right.
judgments, no judgments on this show. If 3 mutually consenting adults want to have some crazy,
too far.
awesome relationship, all power to him. I'm just gonna say it.
Some voodoo love, like, hey.
Ah.
But but you see how Pastor Tom walked into the room and he
Yes.
stopped right behind
In
them.
the back, and we just-
you could see him wanting to save the situation, and then he could see that
Yeah.
that they were good.
I mean,
Very
if
good.
you've ever had, like, I personally have not had the situation, but I have a lot of friends that have had where their exes
Oh,
become
I've had
friends.
many of them.
Like, I imagine that this is, or like their ex becomes friends with the girl they're dating.
I
Like,
don't.
I can't even imagine being there. Like, what's happening?
Right. Yeah. Right here. Yeah.
Yeah, me, her, and Chelsea. Like,
Yeah.
I thought we told
am I
you.
just getting left out
Yeah.
of everything?
Well, you can hold the camera.
I'm all the way here on the other side of the table. I don't get anything, any fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
it's a
Chels.
scary thing, but if you know you didn't do anything wrong and the past
Yeah.
is the past and the future is still on its way, then you're not worried about what they're talking about. It does suck for them. Like, it's happened to me a few times.
I mean-
it does suck for them. However, if you just stay there, stay positive, stay Pastor Tom-ish, then you'll
If
be
I'm
fine.
Pastor Tom, I'm just like, this is not going to end well for anyone, like, let alone him.
Let us hold hands and pray. That's
But
all you
don't
have
you
to say.
think that was like his goal though? I always thought Pastor Tom wanted the 2 ladies to just get along so his life could be a
Well,
bit-
that's a lot
Have
easier.
peace.
That well, here's the thing: is it's be great if everyone could get along and
Yes.
this would not be awkward in any
Right.
way. But realistically, I don't see that as a possibility.
However, you didn't think people could come back from the dead,
That's
and that has happened.
Unless,
so.
yeah, and I mean,
We're
but
in a
that's the
different
thing.
reality
But
now.
because if they're really living together and all
Yeah.
this, Rachel can never have Tom, and she's
No.
gonna, even if like she says it's fine, and for a couple of years it's fine. As the baby gets older, like jealousy will spring up from one side or the other, and it
Sure.
will
Wasn't
not
it-
end well.
Wasn't it just last week that Rachel crawled into bed with him? Wasn't that last week?
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly. So
and-
whether it's Janine or Rachel, one of them is going to end up resenting the
Yes.
situation, and it's not going to end
It's
well.
not going to end well.
And
And the
it's-
days are going like really slow. So today was like yesterday.
A full day.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a week for us is like
Resurrection is
18
not.
hours for them, I think.
I know it's like moving like maybe a little faster than last season, but it is
Okay.
not a fast-paced show.
No.
Right.
At all.
At all.
Especially when you look at other shows like that are similar, so force the comparison, like
Yeah.
Leftovers. That show moves fast, jumps over things,
Whoa.
like explosions all over the place.
Dude.
Resurrection's fairly contained. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about, not a lot of time.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's
So
go
let's
fast.
continue what we were talking about with Margaret, because she drops the demon. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a deep breath.
Come on.
And let's talk about the dinner party. And then we'll
Okay.
get back to the demon stuff.
Where no one really ate, did they?
No, we saw
They
we saw
drank.
them cooking. That there was some drinking going
There
on.
was some
Drinking.
drinking.
What is apple soup?
I don't
Can I
know.
just, I've never heard of apple
Me
soup
either.
before. That's all I want to say about it because it's not a very constructive topic of discussion.
Very
No.
constructive.
Have
I
you
was-
heard of apple soup?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, is it apple cider that she put in a bowl and cute little Jacob is like, apple soup?
I mean, I'm guessing like it's well, I mean, it's just soup that's made with apples, but like I've never heard of it before. I've heard of apple sauce
Oh, yeah.
with pork chops. That's a normal thing.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it
I
is.
a
think
really
referring
thick
to it as
soup.
apple soup is just a cute thing that Jacob.
Well,
because she was
unfortunately,
like Jacob's favorite.
None of us are from the South, so we're not going to get
Dang
the
it.
answer to this.
Well, it was definitely not as thick as the conversation. See how
Yes.
as the conversation at the dinner party, it was very thick, very thick.
Elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm,
Poor Barbara.
Hey guys, apple soup is an appetizer made from pureed apples and onions and chicken or vegetable
I
broth.
told you,
Okay, so there's chicken in it.
There is chicken.
There you go.
often, or
Yum.
vegetable broth.
chicken and oh man,
That
thanks
sounds
man.
Crazy.
The voice of God.
Yes. I don't know where it comes from.
So yeah, but as you were saying, the elephant in the room. No
Yeah.
disrespect. Barbara.
Yes.
That was the fact that she got invited at all. And I know
Yeah,
that Jacob. Well, Jacob wanted her there. Jacob was upset. He's smashing crystal glasses. Like he wants to apologize to Barbara. He's a little kid. He can't
Yes.
wander away.
I agree, and he should apologize to Barbara, not because
Well, no,
he
he-
owes an apology, just
Yeah.
because it'll make him feel better. However, I think this was a situation that mommy and daddy should have taken Jacob over to Barbara's, or they went to a park and had not bring Barbara into the house with Margaret after she had just stated how much she despised this woman, and poor Freddie, and you know, like this is it wasn't very.
It was a reality
was-
show waiting to
yeah.
happen.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it's totally a reality show. I know, but I know that Margaret didn't want Barbara there, but I bet in the end she's really happy.
Oh,
that
you
she
saw.
was there.
She's like,
when
I'm not laughing, but
when
I'm
Lucille
laughing.
goes to the kitchen and then Margaret goes into gossip, like
And
"Oh,
instigate.
And
that
instigate,
biatch is here in my kitchen. Like, that's basically what's happening
Yes.
there. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was a great moment in terms of like
Great.
the show and the characters. It's a
right.
I
really
agree.
evil moment, but
it was very.
You just like to see women fight. That's what that is. That's what that is. But she was instigating the whole
the
time.
Oh,
whole
yeah.
time.
Just like stick it and then she stands up
Yes.
as like Mother Teresa, but really she's just going
She's not Mother Teresa.
no, and she knows it.
Yep.
no, this woman Margaret is so manipulative, and like, but she just she knows what buttons to push from everybody, and so she pushes the buttons of like Barbara and Lucille until Lucille just snaps.
And it was a good snap. You saw it happening. She's sitting there, and you can kind of see that her eyes
Glazing
glared
over.
or glazed. Yeah, not glared, glazed. And you saw something was gonna happen. It's either she's gonna keep drinking and just pass out drunk, or I didn't see it coming though. I guess I don't know. I just
she
didn't.
laid into her, boy.
She really did, and you could see that it caught Margaret by surprise. I don't think Margaret really knew that Lucille had that in her. And so to see Lucille just cut into Barbara the way that she did, even though, let me say this, I think it needed to happen because I think that's part of your process to heal. I don't think it needed to happen at the dinner table in front of Jacob and, like.
Well, that's why it's a drunk explosion.
Yes.
That's what happens. But a fantastic performance from
Yeah.
Frances Fisher, who's brilliant actress because
Yeah, she
the
is.
layers of this
Sexy.
character.
She's
like,
pretty.
So happy to have her
Yeah.
kid back,
Yeah.
but like confronted with Barbara, like who her son died trying to save,
Yeah.
and she just you killed my son,
Right.
Yeah.
and then Margaret just
You saw it, yeah.
smiles.
She was fighting.
smiles.
Yeah,
Oh,
did.
she can't show it. She can't be
Right.
allowed to show. That's why it only creaks up on the side that's not facing Lucille. But you see it. You see
Yeah.
that twitch of a smile.
do.
Oh my God!
And so
she's such a good actress.
But we've known
Everyone.
that she was up to other things. But
Up
it's
to no
now
good.
that we see that she wants her family turned against one another. That's the thing that's new for me.
Right.
It's not new that she's up to something or that she's may have a dark side, but to do that at the table, to move the pawns like that and play
Yes.
chess with her family.
Yeah.
Yes.
is the thing that hurts my feelings.
Especially
really.
after a speech saying that it's her goal to bring
us together.
And she'll do that no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean, it just
too.
it plays towards that big, but when she goes to tell Jacob a story at the end of the night, and it's like
I love that.
brilliant moment. Like this episode was good, it was going well, but that last scene
Yeah.
was so phenomenal. It got me more excited about this season than anything that's happened so far.
Right. Yes.
Because she's talking about the family, like the Langston family, like without so many words, because she's telling it as a story.
Right.
There was a village.
There
A
was.
village, and then they killed the demon.
That's scary already. There was a village. I'm
Yeah.
going to sleep. Good night. but just for Jacob to even want to
I
hear a
know.
scary movie,
Well-
a scary story, it's something to me. For maybe there is the dark side that she is bringing out
She's
in all of the
bringing it out.
returns that
Yeah.
that they are hiding. Oh, you're just a small, cute little kid returned.
We're, like,
But
connected
he's-
today.
But literally,
Yeah.
he's saying, actually, I want to hear a scary one.
Yeah.
What little kid wants to hear a scary story before they go to bed?
I think a lot of kids, like he
Before they go to
wants to be
sleep.
brave. He's like, I'm a man. I can hear a scary story before
I
bed.
don't know. I agree with you because before Mama coming home, Jacob was a very innocent, sweet, perfect little child.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he wants to talk about death. And then the crow in the box, I did not forget about that, and him hiding the dead little bird and wanting to know even today who came to my funeral. And it's just she's
dark side of
bringing
things.
the dark side. She's
She's
doing
pushing Jacob to remember these things because as she drops her goal, we learn her goal
Yeah.
in this whole thing is to kill all the returned.
yes.
She doesn't want. I don't know if that's going to extend to Jacob. I wonder if she considers him like protected because he's a Langston. It's going to be interesting to see if she starts to, as she goes forward with this plan, because she in that thing she's talking about, like she has to kill all the demons because
Right.
only she knows how to end them.
Right.
Yeah, but that was
Even
before
if
she
she
was
is
one.
but it's just even if she became a demon herself.
Herself, yeah.
So it's like Blade. She's
Yeah.
Yeah.
she might be a demon, but she's gonna just kill all the other demons.
Yeah.
Except
Right.
that she's kind of evil.
And then for the story to be over, and then sleeping Jacob, like, is she gonna kill Jacob now? Like, it's like, no. Yeah.
I don't
He's a
think-
Langston.
Well, yes, but I think he's the piece to killing the returned.
We know that he has has some more connections to the returned than the other people have so far.
Right.
So there has to be key piece. But this does answer a question because a little bit that we've had in the past where is Margaret part of like whatever conspiracy is behind all this? And this suggests no.
Right.
That she's not. She's just a piece of it, and she's going to be fighting whatever sent them back, which raises a question of, is whatever sent them back good? Is it bad? Which side is right?
Right.
Is she fighting a bad force for bad reasons? So is she doing good for bad reasons, or is she fighting a good force?
I don't think so. And I think it'll be kind of like a Fred moment where it's like he's fighting for something that he believes in, and yet he was wrong, type of thing. Where she comes from the 30s, right? She comes from a different time where if you were a witch, you were to be hung and blah blah blah. So I think this is just my little theory, is that in her story that she's telling, she was the only one who could actually kill a return. And she was a child. And out of everybody standing around, she was the only child. So that's why I think she's going to protect Jacob and, like, kind of mold him into this. Hi. Oh, I thought he was calling back because you missed us. Oh, man. Love you, Mark. That's what I think, that she's going to brainwash him into understanding, or to have a similar understanding that she does about the returned.
Can we get into predictions, please?
Please, because
Yeah.
there's so much to talk about.
I want to say something.
Let's move into predictions.
Let's
do it.
go.
Let's do it.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to get to. We're running out of time, so we can't get into all of what's going on with Fred and Bellamy and their conspiracy theories because we know that Margaret's covering it all up. So that's what
Yes.
we'll say. Margaret is clearly covering up the killing of those people, which we know she's
Yes.
responsible for now.
And it was great to see Fred put the pieces together.
Yeah, that's going to come together in a big.
Next week.
I'm going to say that as a prediction. Fred and Bellamy are going to be working together against Margaret.
Together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Against his mama.
Get in there.
Get in there. Get in there. But, also, I had it. What was I going to say?
I was talking about Jacob
Is it
and her
Is it about
being-
Jacob? And
being
Margaret?
pulled into
Yes.
the dark
Okay. So
forest?
look at.
Okay.
Thank you. You guys are wonderful.
Yeah.
Pulling me out.
got you. We got
so
you.
look, I think that Jacob is a important piece to this
Puzzle.
chess game, right? Obviously, I think he's going to be used for his power to locate the other returned.
Yes.
So I think he's needed to keep. Remember how Grandma said, "Don't tell anyone that you can do that. Let's keep that as our little secret."
Right.
Now Jacob never had secrets before Grandma came around.
Nope.
Now he has a whole bunch of secrets, right? So keep that secret, little boy,
Yeah,
and use
little
that.
boy.
Use that to find the other return, which we will all have to kill these demons, right?
Right.
But I won't kill you because you have this power and I need you, and you're my
Right.
grandson, and you're a Langston. So I wonder how long it's going to be them against, us against them, and when she's going to realize that
Yeah.
I am one of them. And it goes right back to the thing she said about 2 episodes ago, which is Fred actually is the one who has it right.
Right.
Fred is the one who's been right
Right.
all along.
Right.
That we are not to be trusted.
Right.
So yes,
And
I
that
think,
would be a huge turn, right? Like Mr. Mark said tonight, that something happens halfway that's just going to like blow our minds. It could be something like that where she's, well,
Turns out it's aliens.
I'm really hoping it's
I
not.
gotta be honest, I don't want it to be,
I
but
don't
like,
either.
there's maybe not aliens in the traditional like they
Right.
came down in a spaceship
Like
to
V,
probe
remember that
our
show V?
butts.
Oh.
Not like that.
Yeah.
But some sort of otherworldly entity or being could be like. I would love if they would try something that sort of straddles a line where you're not sure if they're from, if the whatever's doing all this is from space, like another planet, or another dimension, or the afterlife, like heaven, like that sort of truly just
I would like
supernatural
that, too.
religious take that could sort of make us question that thing, like
make us
What
question.
if-
Yes, life.
life
Because-
and like what we determine as life and how we value that versus things that are outside of our normal definitions.
Right.
What was
right.
that movie or show? I know you boys will know it, where like the whole world was like incubated. What was that?
Biodome
Is that what it was
or
called?
Under the Dome?
No. I'm pretty sure it was a movie. Like they were all like in water, like forever. No.
Waterworld?
No. And they lived lives like through their mind, but they were never. They weren't.
The
a-
Matrix?
Is that the Matrix? I'm a chick.
No.
All right. Either way,
I'm thinking it could be something like that, to where the twist is that all of this is part of a different reality than like the current reality.
that's a big swing, but
I
I,
know.
like swinging. I like the
It's a
swings.
big swing.
But gee, you had a Bible verse you were talking about with
And a child will lead them. It was a Bible verse that I heard a long time ago. I'm a preacher's grandson on both sides of my family, and it says, "And a child will lead them." Now, when I read it and when I looked it up because it came to my brain, I saw that it was possibly meaning something different. It's in the Old Testament of the Bible, and what I was raised for that to mean is that a child with the purest mind, with the purest intention, would be the one that would lead us, humans, men, women, adults, to something greater than what we have. And so I do think that came from somewhere, right? Especially in this episode where we're starting to see that little Jacob is protected and people are actually fighting to show that they love him and then wish that want his all those 32 years to come back, but that he's the most precious part of this whole puzzle.
Right.
And I think that he will lead someone to something. And in this case,
32
grandma
years.
to
Was that? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not up on most of my Jesus Lord being Jewish.
he was 32 years old when he
Yeah.
died.
Thank you. Yeah, so that is not an
Jesus.
accident.
No.
And they're
And came back,
reminding us
yeah.
in this episode
Yeah.
about the 32 years,
Chills.
making sure that we
Chills.
remember
Chills.
that.
that was a good one. That was a good one.
He was crucified at 32
Yeah.
years.
I like the idea that you guys were talking
Wow.
about that it has to be a kid
Right.
that kills
I think
that kills
so.
the return because we see her lighting the broken knee guy
Yeah.
on fire, and that's what finally did him in.
Yep.
Because she says neither hanging
Yep.
nor shooting nor fire can kill them.
Yeah.
Maybe it just has to be fire from the hands of a child.
Right. I agree.
That's a huge.
What is that? I wanna
Which
see
would
it.
mean that she's going to be
I
needing
think
Jacob to do her dirty work.
Yeah.
To do the
essentially.
dirty
There's
work.
a reason why she's making her bond with Jacob so strong. I mean, her bond with Jacob right now was the bond that Jacob had with his mother. And it was very strong. And no one could break that unless grandma came into the picture. And that's what
Wow.
happened. Yeah.
She's really making her alliances true.
Yeah. She
Very
is.
interesting. And so next week we got some crazy big scenes. Sorry, before we get to that, because we almost skipped over Mikey crashing his car because he's bleeding from the nose. He's like, please help me, because we see in next week all the returned are sick.
Yes.
They're all like everybody's in the office with Maggie, or that was even at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Now
they're all getting sick. It's just the returned. Is it a disease?
Right.
Is it a plague? Like that's the term that you want to jump to.
Right. And then it was interesting to hear Fred say that he died 15 years ago.
Right.
Which makes, because remember when we were talking about his brother just so willy-nilly like killed him in the basement, and then he comes home and he's like, all right, I'll be right up. Like almost
not the
as
first
if
time or the second time or the fourth time. Yeah.
Right. It's something that's been happening for 15 years.
Yeah, I still think that was the first time that he murdered him.
In 15 years, you think that was the first time he murdered him? 15 years
I mean, he
of
might have
putting up
murdered
with that
him.
bullcrap.
It's possible that he murdered him the first time 15 years ago. What I mean is, since he
came
returned,
back.
I think that was his first.
I got you.
Like, killed
Coming
him
back.
that time, and then now this is his second return.
Gotcha.
And then we see Fred kissing Barbara.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Wait, show me.
Sexual harassment, G.
Yeah, no, she should stop. Look at her.
But the
showing
big,
me.
Sorry.
quote that got dropped about next week. Do you know why they're back? I do.
Oh, cannot wait.
What's happening?
It better happen next week.
I'd sort of put my money on that being a little bit of a red herring. Like we're not going to get the
too.
action. She doesn't know the real reason. She knows what she believes is the reason.
How many episodes do we have left?
There are 13 episodes total.
Okay, good. So we're getting down. This is like the
Nice.
4th, right?
So yeah, I
9.
believe this was
Okay,
about
good.
episode 4.
Ooh.
We still got some meat to chew on.
Yeah.
Chomping.
There's
I
a
saw
lot
something on
left to
Walking
do.
Dead today.
Any final predictions, guys?
I think
We're
that's
all
it.
gonna die. We're all gonna die.
I think
But
Jacob
we'll come
is
back.
the pawn.
But we'll come back.
So it's all good.
It's okay.
Thanks,
should
Mark
end the
Hildreth,
show
for
like
calling
that.
in. That was
Yeah.
great, man. That was exciting.
Thank you
Yes.
to Mark Hildreth for calling in. And in case you tuned in late or something, listen to this,
Yeah.
jump back. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to go into iTunes, rate, subscribe, share it with your friends, go into YouTube, comment, get into a discussion with us. Thank you so much.
How do we find you, though, Zach?
Well, let's start over there, guys.
I just threw it at you. Come on, catch it.
Catch
All right, guys. Well, thanks for geeking out with us tonight. You guys can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at @ZachWilson, and also here at AfterBuzz on a ton of different shows: Z Nation, Doctor Who Classics, Grimm starting next week, Sunday night. So exciting.
Yes.
G Madison, where can people find you?
gmadisonlive.com. That's it. Come see me. I'll see you there.
And you can find me at Melina TV everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, and the Facebook.
All right, that's it, guys. Thanks for geeking out with us. I'm Zach Wilson.
Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.